Hello, beautiful souls. And so in picking up the video camera today, it's been interesting. It's been 3 days since the end of 2013. And so, it's been a little bit odd because for the last 365 days I've been making a video and putting it up there. And now what I see is happening is two things. One, there is sneeze coming on. Excuse me. So the first thing that I noticed is how insistent ego is to grab onto something, to do something. That immediately, as soon as the lesson subsided, it's like, all right, ego perks its head and says, now what are we going to do? And so it wants to keep itself busy as much as possible and try and take on some sort of role that's not its own. And so I've been very vigilant for this. I've been watching this. And I've been partaking in the groups that have been given me, such as the Urtex group and, our study group here with beautiful Lori and Jeff. And so what I'm finding is that the ego wants to do more than it is given. Okay, it wants to take the reins and make itself something. It's almost as if my ego was using some of these videos as its identity, as its justification for knowing something. So in one hand, my ego is doing the course lessons right along with me. It is here becoming, aware of the next steps that are happening, and it's trying to get me to listen to it. And so I have to be that much more vigilant for the voice for God. And so what I'm finding is I'm spending even more time just being still and listening, realizing that it is this listening that the Holy Spirit needs for me to give my mind over for correction. Because if I keep going along with this busy voice of telling me what I have to do, then I am not going to listen to the Holy Spirit and receive the correction in my mind. And as I sit within, what I'm realizing is that doing is completely overrated. Doing is completely overrated. And the doing is literally like us trying to do more than our part, so to speak. And so I don't even really know what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of rambling. But I guess the ego wants me to do anything but be still, because it knows that when I am still, I will hear the voice for God. I will continue to experience these ahas. I will continue to see things through the light of Christ. And ego doesn't want that. So ego wants to keep me as busy as humanly possible. And kind of the position that I've made my life for myself, there's not much to do because we're out in the country. It's just me and Tom in this house. Our only neighbors are Jeff and Lori. We don't really have the internet connection to communicate with people on Google Hangout or any of the, the video gatherings. And so we're not allowed to have visitors at this house because we're house sitting for 6 months. It's like very secluded. It's showing me that in one sense, I've made my life to be in a particular way so that all I can do is listen. And yet at the same time, I'm seeing how much my ego still wants me to do with any other avenue that is possible to distract me and get me away from being still. And so I guess what it is that I'm just recognizing this, and I wanted to pass it on to all of us, that doing is completely overrated. And if we remember one of the principles in the Miracles of Principles at the beginning of the A Course in Miracles, we are reminded that we are here to join the Great Crusade, and the Great Crusade follows 3 steps. Those steps are first to listen to guidance. The second is to learn to undo error, learning to undo the error of our mind, and the third is to do as guided. So the doing is the last step. It is the very last step. We don't need to do anything. But when we give our mind to the inner listening, the Holy Spirit and Jesus will take that little willingness and give us back the awareness that we need so that we can learn to undo the error that is in our mind that is preventing us from doing our part in God's will instead of doing what we think we have to be doing on our own, either to make ourselves feel better, to make ourselves for me, it was always around the idea of other people. I want other people to know that I'm busy. I want other people to know that I'm doing things. I wanted it to look good in the eyes of others. So it's the people-pleasing idea, the approval idea. And so when we become vigilant to look in our mind to see all of the ways that we are being told by these thoughts in our head to do something more than we're actually given to do by God, this is what we are here to do. We are here to purify our minds so that we do only what God has given us to do and not do what we think we need to be doing of ourselves alone. And so this actually reminds me of one of the posts that I put in the group this morning, the A Course in Miracles study group, because it just called to me, right? And so it's actually from the ur text because it's more of a personal note that was given to Helen. That was given to heaven, how cute. That was given to Helen for her to basically have more clarity of what her function is in all of this. And the reason I love the ur text, which is the original scribing of the A Course in Miracles before it was edited by either the FIP or the Sparkle, and so it has a lot of personal dictations between her and Jesus teaching her how to heal her mind and how to see her relationships correctly. So I love it so much. So the part that I'm referencing here is saying, Lord, heal me, is the only legitimate prayer. This also means, Lord, atone for me, because the only thing man should pray for is forgiveness. He has everything. He has everything. So if I, as a child of God, have everything, what am I trying to do? What am I trying to get? Because if a miracle is here to undo the laws of the physical world, then am I really going to go along with the voice that says I'm part body and have to do things in this physical world to keep its safety and security alive? That is the fallacy, the very fallacy that we are undoing by learning miracles. Miracles are here to undo the laws of this world and replace it with the laws of God. And if the laws of God are that I have been given everything, and when God says you've been given everything, He means everything. That means everything for our safety, everything for our security, everything for food, for shelter, for resources, for everything. We literally have been given everything. And so if this is the truth that we are recognizing, then we must learn how to use miracles in our mind that we may see through the clarity that I have been given everything. And so this is why our only prayer is, Lord, heal me. Lord, atone for me. Let me see that nothing's wrong and I need do nothing without you, and that I have been given everything so I can celebrate in this abundance and share it with all the world for those who think they are still in darkness and still in lack. And abundance isn't of necessarily even just material things, but it does not exclude material things. And it seems to be a demonstration that is happening in my life, where both Tom and I do not have a physical job in this world. We have given our life over to the hands of God, and we've been given gifts to give continually. And I watch that when we give our life to God, that He literally does take care of all the nitty-gritty stuff here on earth. There was even a part earlier in the ur text where it was talking about when you need a new pair of clothes, ask me. He's like, I know what your size is. I know what you look good in. I know what you will need to wear. I know, what is your price point. Ask me, and I will tell you where to go to get it. So Jesus is saying, include me in every single aspect of your life. Trust me, He will tell us when to go clean those toilets if those toilets need to be cleaned. Trust me, He will tell us when to go communicate with someone if we need to talk to this person, to have some exchange, to allow some more avenue of resources to come in because we need some at some certain time. Jesus orchestrates all of this for us when we listen. But if we're too busy doing, we're not listening. And so we're going to take on much more than we can chew. Get ourselves into the point of feeling like we're suffering. Get to the point of feeling like, the world is on my shoulders and we just want to give up. The Course isn't what it teaches. Whatever we have to say to make ourselves feel better at the time. And so I guess all that I'm saying is let's allow ourselves to jump back into the position of listening and knowing that the only thing we are here to do is to let our minds be healed. And that means there is a correction. We're not to just remain in the place where there's an open space. we can allow ourselves to move beyond the space, to move beyond the thoughts to the open space where we can receive the correction in our minds. We want the correction. And the correction is to move from the physical eyes and the physical laws of this world to the Christ vision and the laws of God. That's the correction that happens. And once that correction happens, boom, we're miracle workers. And so I join in this today with all of you, saying, Lord, heal me. Lord, atone for me. So that I no longer live my life out of the doing of the separate mind, but I live my life in conjunction with the unity of our divine mind, that I can do only what is my part to do in God's plan and be perfectly happy. God needs healers who are healed. God needs his children to be free of suffering. This is the only reason why we are here. We're not here to do anything else. We're not here to keep up our old lifestyle. We're not here to please other people. We are here to heal our minds and to accept the atonement for ourselves, which is the one mind that we share with God and each other, which is where our power and miracles are. So let's put our focus there today, beautiful souls, as we listen within and receive it inside and not get distracted by the voice that wants us to keep doing something, to keep us out of the realm of listening, but into the last stage of manifestation, which is the doing action. But that comes with guidance once we listen within and learn to undo error and then do as guided. So this feels so good. See, when I share like this, it's not for you guys, but it's not for you guys. It is truly for me. And I find that the Holy Spirit uses what I give to teach me. And so this is where we all are. Let's allow this teaching and learning to become synonymous as one, so we can continue to learn as we give and continue to learn as we listen, so that we can do as guided. And so it is. I love you, beautiful souls. Listen, not do. I love you.